All right, guys, we're back at it. So in this module, we're going to be talking about domain authority. What is it and why is it important? So domain authority is a search engine ranking score that gives a measure of how successful a site is when it comes to search engine results. What is a good domain rating authority score? Well, generally speaking, the higher the authority of your domain, the better. But it's important not to judge domain rating in absolute terms. That's because domain rating is a relative metrics by definition. It's not possible to say that a domain rating of 30 is good or 50 or 60 or 70. It's all relative. Here's a rule of thumb. Your domain rating authority is good if it's higher than or comparable to similar sites. So, as you can see, guys, domain authority is important, and it's just simply a rule of thumb that you want to follow. All right, so everyone has their own rule of thumb when it comes to domain rating. Now, us here at our company, Star Quality Marketing, we focus on domain rating of 25 or higher. All right. Domain rating of 35 or higher is very important to us. That's pretty much how we approach it. All right. So 25 or higher. Why 25 or higher? Well, just in our practices of SEO ranking, this is just a good rule of thumb for us to follow. Anything below 25, well, we got to do some investigating and see, are there other factors that will allow us or make us want to go ahead and continue the process of guest posting, backlink strategies, and etc. Right? But 25 or higher is definitely a good rule of thumb for us, and it could be a good rule of thumb for you as well. You may want to do 30 or higher. It really depends on the industry, because depending on your industry, you might have to, lower your standards just to, make do in that industry. The more you niche down, the more you have to drop, your standards most of the time, some of the times. All right. So with that being said, now that we know what it is, let's get into, some good practices on actually going through the process of even how do you know, how do you check it, etc. All right, guys. So the first thing that you guys want to do is you want to go to your Chrome extensions, your Chrome web store, and you want to download a cool Chrome extension called Moz. All right. MOZ. All right. As you see, this is the one, that it is. You just click on it, set it up, super easy. It's free. All right. Once it is set up, now you're able to facilitate and able to check the domain authority at an easier rate. All right. So once it's installed, I'm going to show you exactly how you're able to do it. So now we're going to start, this is our process of, we want to start looking for websites to start creating backlinks to. But before we do, we have to kind of see, all right, what are some good sites to do it on? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to SC ranking. All right. So in our process of, pretty much searching for websites that we want to link to, the first thing is we have to know, okay, well, what industry are we in? What website? Most of the time we'll use a website that we have, right? So if I am, a person that is trying to grow my SEO value, all right, so let's say, of course, I'm gonna use a website that I have in here. All right, so one of the websites that I might want to use, let's see, we'll use the moving company. This is more of a standard type of industry. All right, so as we see, the moving company is what we want to rank for. So We have cnb.com. All right, so what we're going to do is we want to do competitive research. All right, because we first need to know who are our competitors. All right, so there's two ways to do this. So we can use SC ranking, go to the competitive research, right? Just type in CMB Moving Company. All right, we're gonna scroll down. And then now we see organic competitors. All right, so it has a report of 464 competitors. All right, so what we have here. So pretty much you notice we have the domains and then we have something called DT. So domain trust score. So it's something very similar to domain authority score. All right. So pretty much the domain authority is pretty much a metric that was created by mobs. All right. And then we have the domain trust, which is a metric that was created by can't ever say it, AHREFS, Arif, something like that, that company. But they're pretty much the same thing. You know, now their numbers are slightly different. That way we definitely want to check both. All right. Domain trust scores are normally kind of higher than the domain authority most of the time. All right, so as we see, we got a lot of different companies that we have here. So some of them are not exactly direct competitors, but some of them are, like, for example, Two Men in the Truck. All right, Two Men in the Truck. Let's see. Boom. Okay, yep. Take it to our website. Let's see, we got another one, All My Sons. So that's another one. And we grab one more. United Van Lines, another one. All right, so basically we're on their sites, right? At least this is their site. All right, so once you get the Moz plugin installed, this is pretty much how it's going to look. All right, so you see as it's popping up at the bottom, it'll pop up two ways. All right, so right now it is in DA mode, as you see. So you see the number up here. So it says 54 domain authority score. All right, so they have the 54 domain authority score. Now, if I click it, right, click it again, now it shows up as a bar on top of the website. All right, so there's kind of two ways that it'll show. All right, but as we see, it shows us a little bit more information. It shows us how many links, how many backlinks they have, and then it shows us their score. So I have the 54. So remember, our rule of thumb is 25. All right. So 25 is our rule of thumb. So this is definitely a company we want to try to get a backlink from. All right. So they have a score. All My Sons, a score of 44. United Moving Companies, they have a score of 57. All right. So these are some definitely great competitors that we want to model. All right. Pretty much what they're doing. All right. Now, are these direct companies that we will want to link to? Not necessarily, and we'll get into the details and the strategies of how to do that in the next module, because realistically, CMB Mover Company is a direct competitor of them. So what we will want to do is take a step back and look at the process, right? The industry process, because okay, well, we probably won't get a direct backlink from our competitor, but if we think about the process of moving, there are a lot of other industries that we're not direct competitors are, and we will get easier access to backlinks. Like, okay, after you move, what's next? Well, sometimes you got to hire a cleaning company. All right. Then that process, you might have to hire a trash removal company. Before that process, realtors. So it's a lot of different industries that will be more and happy to give you a backlink because you're not competing. you know. So yeah, we'll get more into that in later modules, but this is pretty much regardless, we want to make sure that the company that we are shooting for, the domain authority, is something that, in our likings. All right. Now, another way we could do it is, we search moving companies near me. We can just search companies in Google. And then as you see, we have all these companies that's popping up, so we could easily, you know, click on them just like we were. All my sons again, boom, so that's pretty much how you find the domain authority of a website, guys. Very important. So, how this goes. I'll see you on the next one.